It actually didn't cut out this part right, but this is the backing to it. It's like a sticker paper, so I used some alcohol inks, and that actually worked pretty good because I'm going to put my girl on there, pop her up a little bit, and we're going to use some tearing methods. I'm using some Coordinations Bright cardstock here, and this is the one that has the core. So I'm going to tear this so we can see that core. I just want to get a little base on this, and we're going to color our cardstock. So I'm just going to do a tearing method that's kind of wonky. And sometimes I don't like those big bits, so I'll tear that. So let's get that done, and that's going to fit on our card base once I get it torn. And I like to do it kind of jagged and, you know, all kind of wonky, but I don't like those big drifts, and sometimes I'll peel it back, so we'll do that as well. So I'm just going to get it torn and kind of just a shape here. So I want some of that corrugated base sticking out. So I went ahead and got some steps done, and then I'll show you how I do my flower arranging. A lot of people have asked me, some of my friends, to just, you know, how I set up my flower arrangements, and I use mostly Wild Orchid Craft flowers and some other brands as well. But mostly the base of it, of what I have, is the, I like that tear there, so I'm going to leave that, kind of curl that, and I'll use some glue on that, just some multi-medium matte real quick that I have. Oh, that's Lossy Accents. Let me find it here. Yep, liquid matte medium. Just to get that little strength going right on that curl. And I'll go underneath of it, and this dries matte clear, so don't worry about that part. So I'm just going to roll that over a little bit, and it'll kind of adhere to a shape. And I'm just going to put a little bit right there so that peak goes right on that. And wipe it off here. So I'm going to get my Lending Stamp Gang Magicals, and I'm going to do the card base and the flowers that we picked out. So I need to put something heavier on this. Let me go ahead and put that on that, and that's going to get set aside so that roll's taken care of. Move it out of our way. Sorry about that, guys. So that will dry in just a few moments. I have my glue gun on so we can place our flowers. So I'm just going to pull and snip off. Find my snippers here. And we're also going to use some fun little trims with the flowers. Let me find my snipper tools here. No, it's not them. Okay, we'll just use our Tim Holtz scissors then. That's what we'll do. Miss Belle! Belle's getting in the video again today. So I think I'm going to use 2 of these big ones and 1 on the top. I like to do compositional wise about 3. And we'll use these little carnation ones, which I love. I love these little wavy rose ones too. And I'm going to leave some white. Some are going to be with the, let me pull these out if I can. Just one moment. I'll snip some of those off at the bases. And those are little curled roses, little buds should I say. So what I do with my Lindy's, and I have my pot over here of water, and that's one of those collapsible pots, and my friend Betsy bought me this little tray, which is awesome. I love using it. So we're gonna just take our paintbrush. I'm gonna take the end of it, just scoop out. You need very little. It goes a long way, believe me. So I'm going to dip that in the water and kind of, you can see how it gets pigmented fast. And let me get a baby wipe. Actually, use a paper towel. Guys, I have a lot of videos coming to you, but as you know, my neck's been really messed up lately, so I'm trying to work with it. So hopefully I can get through this video. We went and had shots for migraines done, and it didn't work so well. But I'd like to get this card done because I'm sending it to a friend of mine. Now, these Lindy's powders have an undertone and a base color, so you'll see that when we this is coming out green right now, but it's actually a blue. See? So what I'll do is wipe my paintbrush off, and I'm just going to bring a little bit of water to those. And you see how they get really super pigmented, and you can use more or less water as you go. Get a little bit more. And so I think I'm going to keep, and I should pull some of these out. I think that'll look good with the bigger ones. Maybe not. Okay, so we're not going to use those. But I will use these. I have 3 of these little ones. And those will go better. And those already have the blue on them. And I bought these from Saw Crafters when she was doing a de-stash sale on some stuff, so a while back. So I'm just going to wet up my paintbrush. First we're going to do our base here. I want to get just some swipes of color on it. So you can see how super pigmented that is, but I don't want to color the whole card. I'm just hitting the tops of those. Wipe that up before I get it all over. So I'm going to get this drying, and we can move on to our flowers. So you can see how I'm just lightly coloring areas and getting some more, because most of it's going to be covered up. But so I like that where that goes down, and I'm going to do that up here just a hair where it goes down into, so we have kind of a cohesive look. So that's our card base. Sorry if I was off camera. I need to push things up a little bit. I moved my camera angle, so I'm going to have to squeeze things in here. Alright, so in coloring our flowers, I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to get that droplet of water up. I think we're going to just hit this with a light color of blue. And just the very tips. I'm just going to hit on a couple. And this will stain your hands, guys, so, but it'll come off eventually. So I'm just doing a little smattering. I don't want them all covered. Just right there, just a little bit. And I'm just kind of dabbing a little bit, because I don't want those super pigmented. I'll get the last little bit done there. Okay, those look good. Let me get this side over here. Alright, so I'm going to rinse my fingers real quick. So I think I'm going to have those be white. So that'll be our white element. And these ones I'm going to color with the darker blue. And guys, this has so much mica powder on it. It's so beautiful in real person once you dry it. And it just is a really nice product. And I recently bought, and I should show a haul video soon on it. I lost 10 videos, guys. Don't ask me how, but it kind of sucked. They were all corrupted files, and I ended up taking them off my camera before I knew they were corrupted. So lesson learned, won't do that again. Okay, guys. Yeah, I can laugh at myself. It wasn't so funny at the time. So, anyways, I'll have a haul video showing some of the products that I brought. And one of them is the Brie Reese glitter inks. And oh my word, are they so beautiful. Okay, we got those done. I'm going to leave the rest of those white. I am going to put a little bit of sparkle pen. And let me see, I think I'm going to do just a little bit more on this card base. So get that other color coming in there. And that's kind of a green blue. And then the other one's a real bright blue. So you can see how this is actually drying sparkly. And I'll probably hit it with my heat tool for just a second. Oop, we do not want to color that. So let's move that out of our way before I have an accident here. I'm running out of space. Alright, so excuse the noise for a second. And I'll show you how pigmented these get. And we're going to hit these flowers real quick so we can get them on. And this is all just about layering. But I mostly wanted to show you how that we can get that effect of the flowers going and how I pick where I put them. So that's good enough. We'll set that aside for a second. And I'm just going to bend it back a little bit. And I'm going to dry these flowers for a second. They dry pretty quick, especially if you don't saturate them. Okay, that should be good on that. Sorry about the voice, guys. A little bit hoarse today. Seems like everybody's getting sick. Okay, so with these corrugated card bases, for me, I like to actually use hot glue because it sticks down fast, and because of the dimension on the card base itself, you want to get it really stuck in there. So let me see if I want that curl on the bottom or the top, so you can see how this is going to layer up. We're going to have our girl popped up, so I'll get some foam tape on her. I think I'm going to lay this flat and the girl popped up. I think I might have her off to the side a little bit and a little bit turned. So we're seeing how that looks, and I like that. And also too, I'll come in and excuse me, do the actual envelope with some of that as well. So these I'm just gonna take and do a little twisting how I want these, and I'll wrap that smaller wire around just a little bit, and I think I want to pull it up just a hair. And then I'll snip off the end because I don't need that long of a tail. I just need a small tail. So I'll snip it right about there so we can tuck that under. And I'm going to do the same for these two. So this one I'm going to have go a little bit higher. And just wherever you want that placement, you can bend them to like kind of wrap around the card or however you want them. So again, I'm going to snip off that little bitty tail. And one more to go. And each one I try to make a little bit different. So let me try to wrap that wire. Alright. Okay. So what I do is I kind of play around with placement. So I might just take her up a little bit there. I'm going to get my placement first. So I think I'm going to have a small cluster down here. I'm going to put one of those there. Nope. Looks like we're going to put those on the sides. Actually, yeah. Actually, no, I'm going to do that like that. We'll smush them in a little bit there. So that means I need to, this is why I kind of play around with placement first. And then, I think I'm going to have some of this trailing about in my cluster, and I'm also going to bring out some of this eyelash trim. I'm going to have that go around our cluster and underneath. Maybe, let's see, I think I'm going to ball this up. Just a little ball there. And that can go right underneath of the flowers. Let's see how that looks. I like that. And just kind of gives it like that fluff look, you know. And we're gonna have that there. We're gonna have two of these trailing off. So I'm thinking about maybe having this kind of go underneath and trail off with those. So let's see how that looks. And wrapped around. And this is just how you play. I mean, you just really got to see what you like. So I'm going to snip this off right there. And then we'll take another one and put it about right there. And then while we're thinking about it, we're also going to put a little cluster up here, which is going to be just those two. Once my girl needs to go down, she'll be popped up there. And then they'll get one of those trailing down. So you can kind of see how you can play with it, see how you like it. You know, just kind of get it the way you want it. And I'm going to put the same trims over there. But we're going to snug those up, because once you put the hot glue, it snugs them together. And we're going to have this trailing out right about there. Okay, so let's have one little sprig of that go over here. And I think, yeah, I'm going to have that go underneath. Look at the big ball there. So that'll trail out fine. We're going to cut this eyelash trim right about there. I used the wrong scissors for it, but that's okay. And let's see if we can do one little loop for there. That'll look good. Okay, guys, so sometimes I'll take a picture of it, but in this case I'm not going to, because I know exactly where they're going. If I have a really complicated one. So just kind of slide that off to the side. We're going to get this glued down first. Let me release my cord here. So I am and you kind of got to work fast because this didn't go down. Let me see if I can get that stuck, and then I'll just pick it up and do it in other spots. Sorry about that, guys. But the glue stick did not go down as far as I needed it to. So I'll just come under here, stick that down, and I'm okay if the edges stick up a bit. But I don't want the card falling apart in the mail, so I do like to get, come on, glue stick, work with me here. Cut. Don't burn your fingers off, as Lindsay would say. Okay. Cut. Let's see, might need just a tad under there. Whoa. And that's so don't burn your fingers off move. Okay. Let me get the little goobers off of here. Okay, so the first thing we need to think about is getting my foam tape roll, which is, maybe I'll use some foam swell. Just a second, guys. I think I want a lot of dimensions, so I would have to double the tape roll. So I'm going to use these little ones from, I think that was the Dollar Tree or Michael's. I'm not sure which one. Can't remember. So I'm going to place this. I think we're going to do a kitty wampus. So my bulk of my flowers is going to be there. I think we'll have her to the side like that. That leaves room enough. Okay. So let me get this portion stuck down. And I'm okay if the rest, I just put it in the center there. Oops, my glue's unfilled. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So now let's get the foamies on her. So just go around. I'll use the littler ones as well. But if I can stick these big ones and not have to peel off a million. I try to minimalize here. Got furry trim all over me, and these are the same height, so I like to use these little ones for little areas like right here. And because I'm putting this in the mail, I'm putting on more than I normally would, but that's okay. I think they were $1. Not that I want to be too frugal, but I want it to look good, of course. Okay, so make sure nothing's sticking out there, and we're gonna pop our little girl up. Now, popping the girl up also helps with the flower organizing and stuff, because we're gonna have different levels of height, and I think that looks better on a card. I like the composition and to do the different levels. It kind of gives your eye something to look around to. So let me get these all peeled off. Give me a second for that. And I'm trying to do a little bit more real time on the flower placing, because I have had a lot of questions on it. So, like, I want to respond to your guys' questions and, you know, like, make the videos you guys like to watch. So, by all means, if you have any suggestions or questions that you would like me to do, I have one that I need to do some kind of showing how to use products and stuff. So, I'll be doing that as well soon, and of your request. So, let's rewrap our eyelash trim here, guys, and hopefully you can see good. I might zoom you in. Well, let me zoom you in a little bit for this part. Yeah. Okay. So now I know where I need to be. That helps a little bit, I think. So you guys can kind of see where my mind goes with this. So that I'm going to kind of try to pile up, and I want it spilling over but not too much on the girl. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to put a little dollop of glue right there. I'm going to take the end of my paintbrush and kind of just mash it down. And I should have used my spatula. I have a silicone spatula for glue, but it keeps on falling out of my glue holder. Aha, I found it, so I don't have to run my paintbrush in. Okay. These are my good watercolor paintbrushes. Not that it won't come off, but yeah. So once I place the flowers, it'll mash down a little bit more, but let's see where we're gonna place these. Coming, trailing out. I think I want the small ends coming out. I think that'll look better. So we're thinking about that placement. That glue's still sticky, guys. We don't want that coming out too much. Okay. So we have that wrapping around. And let's get this rewrapped a little bit. Okay, so you see how that was laying? I'm just going to turn it to lay the way I want it to lay. So kind of like that. I like it sticking off the card a little bit. And once we place the flowers on here, guys, what's going to happen is all that'll get trapped underneath of there. So don't worry about just every finite little glue detail once you smash the flowers on top. So what we're going to do is I'm going to curve this one around a little. And this is kind of how I just play and play until I like every little placement. I actually want this going over top of that. There we go. I'm going to use our other one over here. Now don't go and stick this down until you see how far out your flowers come. And this one I need to kind of finagle under. Then we'll have this going over. I need to wrap that one more time. There we go. And I think we'll go this way with that. I might snip a little bit of that off. And we're going to have our bigger flower placed on that side, our smaller flower, and then we'll have this tuck underneath. And then I want that pearl trim to come out a little bit more and go on top of that. So I might stick that little bobble out the end, like right there. Let's get it going that way. So yeah, you just gotta fiddle with it. Shove that under. Okay, now I like that. Okay. I'm going to put a generous portion of hot glue on that, because remember we're trapping down all those layers. Okay, so I'm actually going to put some hot glue under this. Trapping that down. And now we can place our next flower, which we're going to put a generous amount of glue on that. Kind of rub it off. And see what I mean about spacing? No, it's still a little bit wet, so I can pull that out. And that looks perfect. Now make sure we have the right composition over here before we stick these down. I need to pull that one back a little. Not sticking off the card though. Where did we put our other flower? Fling it on the floor. Oh, there it is. You guys were probably screaming at me, it's there, Bree, it's there. Belly, that's no girl. Bell. Okay. I didn't do a good job at trapping this, so I need to get that underneath up there. I kind of like how that goes out there. This needs to be slid down real far. And I'm going to snip off one more little, let's see, that's too little. That's actually not going to work. I think we'll snip one of these off as a white one, pulling in more of that white. Because we're going to have these come a little bit out to the side, and I like that better. That ties in the white with it. So now, carefully take one off and start from the back and work your way forward. That's what I kind of do. And I'm going to make sure I encompass and trapping those down when I'm placing everything. So how's that looking so far, guys? I'm liking it. I need to get another glue stick here. Alright, so now, and I get these glue goobies from the silicone thing that it sits in. Okay, that one's actually already melted down. I'm going to put a little bit more hot glue. And you're going to get strings, but don't worry, your heat tool will take all those stringies off. And you try to get it done fast, so you trap everything under there and kind of get it all down the way you want it. And you don't want to lose time here because you'll lose your composition like this I want coming over. So I'm going to push that down. The one I just stuck, and see how it sticks up there? That's the kind of things you'll want to watch for when making a cluster like this. Is how they're placed, and what you're trapping under there will push up other things and make sure that that is stuck down well. So I want that little one sticking out, so I'm really going to push. Hot, hot, hot. Okay. Then we got that side. And look, we're almost done, guys. Get that glue gooby. And I like to kind of like take it, tilt it, push it, and now you got the composition you want. And look how fast and easy that came together, guys. Like, it didn't take long. You can see all the little sprigs and sprays sticking out there with the little eyelash trims. It's furry, it's fuzzy. I was going to use some lace on this, but I decided not to. It's quite a heavy card base to begin with. And so I love how this trim sticks out. And but I'm going to, you see that edge right there? I'm going to stick that down a little bit because it's just too floppy and it won't make for, so these are little adjustments you make afterwards, and there you go. So that kind of sticks up nicely, but not too much. I'm going to lay that down just a hair. So we have a more weighted on this side. We've got our girl turned. We've got our curl up here, which gives it a little bit of weight. And then we have our composition that goes over here. So if you look closely, you can see that all of your composition is right. You can hopefully see the sparkle on the girl where I did the Spectrum Noir glitter pins. Let me see if I can do my light so you can see it. And she's colored beautifully with Copics, and this is for a friend of mine. It is a thank you card, and sometimes when I have so much going on here, I won't put a sentiment on it, and especially if I'm making it just to make it and have on hand, excuse me guys, I'll leave off a sentiment, because this could be a happy birthday, a congratulations, it could be for any occasion. So kind of think about that. So I don't want anything to detract from my beautiful flowers and the arrangement and all the, you know, frilly stuff going on here. So I think a sentiment kind of takes away from that. So think about that when you're doing that. So I'll put all the stuff inside the card that actually, you know, says what I need it to say. So when the person gets it, and sometimes I'll put their name up here. It depends on, like, personalized cards are good. So when you're making them, excuse me again, just to make them, think about that. And then you can always put a sentiment on later, but I like it without it. I think it's kind of like an art piece, you think of it. I mean, sometimes you have the words, but then sometimes you don't. So this whole composition says a lot to me, and I think it will to the person who I'm making it for. And you know, the colors pop, the dark tones with the light tones with a little bit of the white tying in all together, the different sprigs and sprays sticking out, and I like to hang some stuff over the edge. So think about doing things like that, you know, bringing in your different trims and stuff, incorporating them into, incorporating, I'm thinking of Halloween, incorporating them into your design elements. They make a big pop, but you know, this was, you get a big roll. It was on a sale. I bought it at Michael's. So you get quite a big roll, and look at how many flower arrangements and different things you can use with this. So, you know, just think outside the box. And please check out my Instagram. You'll see more pictures on my Instagram with this, making this card. And I thank you all for watching. Like I said, if you have any comments, or I love to read your comments. I love to answer them. If you have any videos you'd like me to do, I do mixed media, which you'll see a lot of that coming up. I do cards and a lot of other things, also watercolor. So a friend of mine wants me to do some watercolor pen reviews and how to use them, so I will do that. Also, the big pop here is the flowers with the different tones, and you have that in the back. And I don't know if you can see the sparkle on that, but oh my goodness. I love those Lindy Stamping sparkles. So pretty. With all the other sparkle in this, I just think it pops. I was going to put some gems on here, but not needed because we have the little pearl sprigs. So this I got off of Amazon, and hopefully I can link to this product, but it's quite a big roll of it. Whatever it is, FOWOD decoration. So you might be able to get it by that tag, or I'll try to link it, but it's just a big roll of pearl trim. So I like using stuff like that. Wild Orchid Crafts has stuff like this, and that's a product number. Let me turn it around. There you go. So these are like stamens. I was going to use those, but I thought with the pearl trim that would be too much. Laces, stuff like that. Think outside the box. Don't just go with the norm. So thank you all for stopping by my channel. For all my new subscribers, and I've had quite a few of you lately, thank you so much, and I hope you stick around. And I have a surprise coming soon. Once I hit an odd number, I passed 100, so yay. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you enjoy your time with me here. I hope you learned something. I love learning from you guys. And let's become friends. I love having friends. I've met some of the best friends on my Instagram account and on my YouTube. And I just love you all. Hugs and love from me, and happiness to you. And go out and have a blessed day. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.